Maybe. All right, Bernie Sanders' winning streak continued over the weekend with a victory in the Wyoming caucuses on Saturday. Sanders beat Hillary Clinton by 12 points, 56-44, notching his 8th win in the last 9 nominating contests.
Okay, what do we do here?
I mean, it sounds like
Nicole,
he's winning.
He's won 8 out of 9.
Yep.
But he's losing.
And look, he wins by 12 points. I tell you, I would not do well as a Democratic politician. He wins by 12 points. He may not even pick up a single delegate.
Yeah.
It's 7-6 now, with a remaining delegate to be decided later. I'm sorry, that's a crushing victory.
I know. And listen, I think that with the super delegates that they have, I think she only has to win 30% of the, you don't have to get 30% of the vote in the remaining contest. I mean, talk about voters feeling like a system might be rigged.
Why are you even voting?
If you're driving
in
a
Wyoming
car right now, we've been talking about rigged systems. We're putting up right now a graphic. Bernie Sanders wins 56-44% in Wyoming. The delegates rewarded: Hillary Clinton 11, Bernie Sanders 7. Why does the Democratic Party even have voting booths?
No, why?
This system is so rigged.
It feels that way, and I think if they fall into line better than our voters do, but I can see some of the same emotions boiling over at their convention.
But we always talk about voter turnout and how important it is to do your duty as a citizen. There's absolutely no reason any of those people voted in any of those states,
I mean,
right?
What's the justification for
Please,
that?
someone tell me.
These are the rules.
No, that's
Yeah,
not a good
I
answer.
understand.
Tell me
But
why those
rigged.
people needed to go vote, because their votes
Depends
don't
on where
matter.
you turned out. It's not rigged.
Do their votes
rigged.
matter, Mark
Yeah, they
Halperin?
do. The votes
How?
matter.
Do they count in some
Depends
way?
on where you turn out.
How?
I don't think it's a
only
good
in
system.
some parts of the country
I don't think it's
it
a
matters?
good system, but it's
He
not like
won by 12 percentage
Why does he
points
defend
and
the system?
lost the delegate
I don't think it's a
count.
good system. All I'm saying is it's not
Do you
like
think
the
it
Clinton
changes?
people.
Can I ask you, do you think that the Democrats and
matter.
Republicans change their delegate allotment processes after this cycle?
Only if the winner of the White House decides he or she wants to change it, which is unlikely. These are the rules.
For this, I had 17 people. I wasn't running against 2 people. I had 17 people. Hillary Clinton, I got a similar number to Hillary Clinton, and she had Bernie, and she had a hard time putting Bernie away. And Bernie, poor Bernie, he looked so upset. You know what? He made a mistake. He shouldn't have made a deal. Sometimes he lost. First of all, it was rigged. And I'm afraid the election's going to be rigged, I have to be honest. Because I think my side was rigged. If I didn't win by massive landslides, I mean, think of what we won in New York and Indiana, California, 78%. That's with other people in the race. But think of it. I hear more and more that the election on November 8th, can you believe we're almost there? This started on June 16th of last year. And I said, wow, let's go do it. It takes guts to do this,
Repeatedly
believe me.
now, Donald Trump has said that this election will be rigged against him, challenging really the core foundation of our democratic system. Can you promise the American people that this election will be conducted in a fair way? And are you worried that comments like his could erode the public's faith in the outcome of the election? And if he does win, given that you've just declared him unfit, what will you say to the American people?
Well, at the end of the day, it's the American people's decision. I have one vote. I have the same vote you do. I have the same vote that all the voters who are eligible all across the country have. I've offered my opinion, but ultimately it's the American people's decision to make collectively. And if somebody wins the election and they are president, then my constitutional responsibility is to peacefully transfer power to that individual and do everything I can to help them succeed. It is, I don't even really know where to start on answering this question. Of course the elections will not be rigged. What does that mean? The federal government doesn't run the election process. States and cities and communities all across the country, they're the ones who set up the voting systems and the voting booths. And if Mr. Trump is suggesting that there is a conspiracy theory that is being propagated, across the country, including in places like Texas, where typically it's not Democrats who are in charge of voting booths. That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense, and I don't think anybody would take that seriously. Now,
that's ridiculous.
Our elections are remarkably easy to rig.
I don't think anybody would
The simplest
take that
and increasingly
seriously.
widespread way to do so is through our electronic voting machines. For example, a study from the Brennan Center for Justice found that 43 out of 50 states use machines at least 10 years old for 2016 elections, making their security systems outdated and extremely easy to hack. In addition, according to nonpartisan and nonprofit organization, Verified Voting, some of the machines do not even print a paper receipt of the votes, so their results are unverifiable. Far too many states use unreliable and insecure electronic voting machines, and many states have made their situation worse by adding some forms of internet voting for some voters, which cannot be checked for accuracy at all. Even in states where verifiable systems are used, too often the check on the voting system's function and accuracy is not done. The leader of this voting machine movement is Election Systems and Software, which incorporates a company formerly known as Diebold Election Systems, whose machines have repeatedly been proven easy to hack. For example, on a Fox News segment in 2006, Princeton University professor Ed Felton stated, "It only takes a few seconds to insert a virus into Diebold's voting machine, and the computer virus switches the votes." He demonstrated it by hacking a Diebold Equivotes machine on air, contending that others could do it at any time before election date and the votes would be flipped permanently. To grasp how arbitrarily the popular vote can be manipulated to fit the establishment's intended outcome, the Iowa caucus would be a good place to start. As if insufficiently trained volunteer staff, voter confusion, inadequate voter registration forms, and general disorganization weren't telling in themselves, in multiple locations the awarding of delegates came down to coin tosses literally. While described as the closest Democratic caucus in Iowa history by the state's Democratic Party, according to Salon, apparently the same party felt the need to give Hillary Clinton an advantageous edge. One of Bernie Sanders' delegates was sneakily awarded to Clinton amidst the confusion, but the Iowa Democratic Party didn't bother to inform the precinct secretary it had done so. It then refused, despite the somewhat suspect happenings, to perform an audit. What happened Monday night at the caucuses was a debacle, period, the Des Moines Register penned in an editorial afterward. Democracy, particularly at the local party level, can be slow, messy, and obscure. But the refusal to undergo scrutiny or allow for an appeal reeks of autocracy. Though Nevada didn't have to resort to its deck of cards method to figure the awarding of delegates as Iowa had done with its coin tosses, that didn't stop anecdotal picture and video evidence from proving rampant issues and possible fraud. Inexcusably hours-long lines, a lack of paper ballots, and poorly trained elections workers meant general disenfranchisement pervaded caucus locations. The situation so outraged voters, it was characterized a fiasco. Those who did manage to procure a ballot discovered Clinton propaganda in plain sight, though electioneering is prohibited at polling locations. One Reddit user posted a photo of a sign-in sheet emblazoned with the Hillary for Nevada logo at the top. Asked for an explanation, the poll worker handing out the not at all neutral sign-in claimed it was for the Democratic Party, US Uncut reported. Worse still, another Reddit user claimed a poll volunteer registering new Democratic voters automatically marked them as favoring Clinton and not only seemed stubbornly hesitant to correct the error, but later appeared working for the Hillary group's tables. If you are not convinced that the election is rigged for Hillary, then I don't know what will convince you. We must not let Hillary into the White House. She is a criminal who belongs in jail.